So you wanna be an Unreal diver and earn your cape?
Now there's a Helldiver.
The best way to start your training is here, son. This is not a click-by-click tutorial, but rather a detailed breakdown of the whole scene.
And here is a quick concept of the scene we're gonna create. I learned a lot during this intense week, especially about Gaea and Niagara. So stick around the end because I will give you the best settings for your render.
I will never let a Helldiver learn Unreal Engine alone.
I know how hard it is.
No. Wait.
Look familiar? Scenes like these are happening all over the galaxy right now. You could be next. That is, unless you make the most important decision of your life.
Prove to yourself that you have the strength and courage to learn Unreal. Oh man, I decided to join the Pwnisher challenge less than 6 days before the end. And this one-week hell dive into Unreal and Niagara felt like a suicidal mission on Fury Prime.
Alright, just to put you back into context, guys.
I recently started to play Helldivers 2 after not playing anything consistently for years. And the least I can say is how good the game is. I mean, look at that, for God's sake. I think they had the absolute best idea to take our favorite sci-fi movies from the last century and make it an absolute cinematic warfare. In my opinion, they should have put dinosaurs instead of alien zombies. It would have been a really fire gameplay. Alright my friends, let's jump in. So I downloaded the template on the website and opened the scene in Blender. First thing I did was to divide my viewport and set the camera on the bottom left and shader editor on the bottom right. Then I launched Unreal Engine and basically did the same. So once in Unreal, I added a content browser and a second viewport, and I set it as cinematic. Be mindful that the second viewport destroys your performances. Setting it as unlit will help. Alright, let's get our assets. My go-to for meshes is always Sketchfab first. I typed Helldivers and found some ripped meshes. Even they are low poly, I was happy to find them. And don't forget to say thank you. Nice, I can't wait to texture it. There was other nice assets, but I didn't use them in the end. At this point, I had basically 5 days and crumbs left. I started by blocking out 3 simple spheres and animated them in the sequencer to simulate 3 Hellpods. After that, I imported the destroyer to have a sense of scale. Oh my god, look at this thing, what a beautiful baby. 150,000 tons of democracy. For the landscape I used Gaea, which I bought a few weeks ago. It is extremely simple to use and the only thing you have to do is add those baby nodes. For example, here I started with a ridge, then I added an easy erosion, and for the texture I used first a texture base. Then I chose the color with a sat map, and to export add a measure node and then an export node. Back in Unreal I scaled and placed the giant thingy to give a big sense of depth, and reworked the location of the egg pods to fit better the new panoramic hotel view on our mountain. And voila, we have our scene set up. Let's jump to my favorite part, modeling. For the modeling part, I analyzed some in-game screenshots my bestie took for me. Then, believe it or not, mostly not, I modified the default cube, because I'm not cruel like you guys, I don't delete it when I open Blender. Then I added just a bit of custom democracy. Honestly, all I did here was some hard surface, black magic, Blender voodoo sheet on a Ouija LED screen table while watching The Exorcist and praying that my laptop doesn't explode. Jokes aside, really nothing complicated guys, it was just about the right edge loops at the right place and extruding shit, you know the drill. I did the exact same steps for the floor, started with a simple plane, then invoked the god of hard surface modeling. Yanni Bird style, you know, just click on a few buttons, extrude a few dingy edges, and bam! You have a killer looking sci-fi panel, ready to be textured. So you add an array and you open your secret texture atlas folder. Yes, this one, the special folder you worked on for years. Just plug the basics PBR stuff in the corresponding sheet holes. Do a simple UV, project from view, and align the mesh faces where you think it fits on the UV edit. Do the same for the 3D propaganda, and make it rusty and crusty like your favorite Korean fried chicken. Oh, and for the Liberty, of course. Then keep going with every part of the mesh until you get a nice looking asset. Oh, and one tip here. When you use the cube UV projection, select everything in the UV editor and select a nice square face in last. Then do UV unwrap follow active quad, so you can align the whole thing with your trim or atlas. Nice, eh? Okay, for bending the mesh, I use the lattice modifier. Easy as fuck. Then after making a backup, I used Alt and D to instantiate the bay asset and place it around. To make the glass, I selected the nice edge loop, then I did face, grid fill. No, not this one. This one, motherfucker. Then I added a solidify modifier to give it thickness. To finish, I copied the location of the bay and passed it into the duplicated glass. And I ended with a quick texture rework to vary the repetition after applying the modifiers. Then I did the lattice thingy again to bend the floor. Fine, I'll tidy up and materials check. I'm really happy how it looks like. Let's take a second to celebrate. What the fuck am I doing? Back in Unreal, I put everything at the 000 origin, and don't forget to save. Then I set up a quick material that will enhance later, and also an emissive material for the lights. Look at that! Woo woo woo! Amazing! After fixing this poor guy to make him ready to engage for Super Earth, I sent him straight to the Mixamo training camp. And I can tell you, he was pretty lame because I waited forever. It was kinda fun. I had to place those cute Fruit Loops on his body. Until I had to place something on his grain. In French, the grain is the nose of the pig. Oh, hello Dobby. So I had to look for what the fuck was this thing. Oh, it was his sausage, alright. Well, you didn't say it earlier, you motherfucker. Then I dropped the animation to check if it was working. And voila! Oh, and after that I added the cape with a root bone, because it seems that Mixamo doesn't add this important bone. So after re-importing, I tried to make a chaos simulation on the cape. And the thing was completely fucked by the colliders. So if you go in the physics tab, you can modify them. Spoiler, it was looking like it came straight from Temu, but I found some workaround, painting hard parts on the sides and top. And tada, the thing was like 3 out of 10. So let's do the animation now. I spent a lot of time analyzing the salute to democracy. I added a skeletal mesh and its control rig in a sequencer and started animating the food.
My life for Super Earth!
Nice! I kept going with the right arm. Stand straight, Helldiver. Then I had an issue with the arm.
Sweet liberty, my
I kinda fixed it quick and dirty. Then I kept going and I was like, we need to do something for his poor aunt. He reminds me of poor Uncle Anson. Not the pinky soldier, are you from England? I said not the pinky.
Injury.
Oh my goodness, okay, left side. It was starting to look fine, until I saw the thing he used as an end. I had to do something.
I need stim!
Alright guys, here's the final result.
Feels good.
I was happy with the animation. So I gave him a war buddy and stuck them together in a cozy sequencer. Later I forgot to record, but I attached to the Hellpods the Fire VFX from a pack. Then I got the landscape closer because it was too far, as you can tell by looking at this poor rookie. He obviously got a vertigo trauma from his last mission. I feel you, buddy. Then my fucking OCD made me move the thing back because the ship's shadow appeared too close. Talking Niagara, I won't go too much in details here, as my attempt to do the Hellpods VFX was just trial and error for hours. It was basically this during the whole day. The only thing I can tell you is you have to find a balance between temperature and density dissipation, particles density and radius, and velocity and gravity. Oh, and of course with random crashes every 5 minutes. Then I ran into new issues with collision, so after hours trying I decided to add an outer capsule. Then the thing kept crashing and fucking with me. And when I opened it again, it was completely wasted like a hangover fart. I was exhausted and decided to call it a day. Back to the grind, bros. Let's loop that fucking OST. Back to the fart pod. I kept going for hours trying to make the shit work. At some point I had something really nice. Are you ready? The truth is I lost the mojo and it became fucking shit again. I mean, look at this for God's sake. And this!
You know what? We'll do that in the material VFX later.
Let's tweak a bit the lighting because it looks flat like your girlfriend's titties. So click in your viewport and then do Ctrl plus L and hold Ctrl while you move the mouse. Look at how it makes everything pop. Hey, shut up, Georgie. Oh, by the way, I didn't record the screen because it took me hours, but I did a cool nuclear explosion. It almost exploded my laptop. I made it more intense with a point light animated in the main sequencer. And voila! Don't neglect simple things, guys. After that I wanted to make the landscape a bit more rough, so I downloaded Materialize. It's free and I used it since years. In Diffuse Map you click on the O button and plug your base color. Then you click on Create Height Map. And then you click on Create Normal Map. You can also do the smoothness and metalness, but no need here. So you click on the S, it's Save, to export the map you want. In Unreal I plugged it with a simple flatten normal node, and I tweaked it. But keep it discreet, guys. For the landscape roughness I added a contrast node, and I plug in the base color. And I added a scalar parameter to control the power. And you can duplicate those to do the same with the metallic. For the light animation, I started by keyframing the emissive material on the Michael Bay. The Michael Bay. Did you get it, you stupid? Then I did some rect lights on left and right. Then animated them to match the tempo of the neons. Did you know you can copy and paste keys in the sequencer? But be sure to paste it on the same type of line. Here is the intensity. I turned nanite off on the foreground meshes to make them look better. To make the explosion more immersive, I created a new rect light. And I made it light up the whole scene from down under. I think it really adds something. Here is the final. To add some visual spice to our scene, I added a post-process volume and enabled the 3 superpowers combo: Bloom, Lens Flare and the Dirt Mask. I skipped the chromatic aberration because I felt it was too much. The key, guys, is to go gentle on it, okay? Don't burn our eyes. Because Gods is in the detail.
Details matter.
That's so true, bro, so I added a dirt texture to our bay glass. And I multiplied it with the opacity, which I reduced. Be gentle, you remember? And I fixed the red emissive material that was not matching the light color. As always, reference, guys. I realized my Hellpod lacked of a touch of yellow. So I simply selected the right parts, created a yellow tint in Photoshop and applied it. Yeah! Oh, and after that, closing his little chicken wings, I fixed his tipita to make it burnt. Quick and
Ça me
dirty.
pique, ça me chauffe, ça me gratte au sang, j'ai le cap au vif.
Nice! Okay, back to Unreal. The Hellpod material was looking off, so I fixed the texture contrast in our good old Photoshop. And reworked the Unreal material. I just multiplied some shit and made it darker. Yeah, so much better. After replacing the placeholders, I had to fix the wrong scales on each keyframe. Alright, it's time to really make this atmosphere entrance badass. Arrowhead Studios really know how to build the hype before each mission. Like our master Childhood Studios knew to do. Let's enjoy 12 seconds of nostalgic testosterone.
We're approaching the LZ. It's gonna be hot. Get set to come out swinging. Touchdown! Hit it, Marines!
Go, go, go!
My goodness, rest in peace, Master Chief. For the new Hellpod VFX, I started with modeling a dildo around our egg. Then I downloaded a fire texture and a lava texture. I fixed the hue to make it orange and made them kinda seamless in Adobe Photosheet. I set them up in a material, played with mixing the 2 textures with some Pioneer nodes and UV coordinate until I got something nice. Key, as always, is to keep it visually balanced. And voila, it looks amazing. Oh, and thank you to Royal Skies for his amazing tutorial. Be nice, guys, always engage and give back when you learn something nice. And if you like my breakdown, click on that cute subscribe button to help me do more. To finish the VFX, I mixed it with the Niagara particles I did earlier. And then I duplicated it on the other Hellpods. I'm not gonna give too much details for the blast ring because it was hours of trial and error, just like for the Hellpod VFX. I will do another tutorial when I master the topic because it's so cool in the end to blast stuff.
1, 0.
Just like the Hellpod VFX, the important things are point force, velocity, dissipation, density, and radius. But the tedious stuff is that you need a big world size bounds. And increasing the resolution kills your GPU so fast. But low resolution makes horrible blobby shit. After a while I got something correct. I'll explain it in a future video, so be sure to follow the channel. Let's texture our destroyer ship now. So after choosing a nice texture atlas, I did the same steps as the bay, the floor and the Hellpods. Just projecting face UVs on the right place, you know the drill. Try vary each element when you do the texture projecting, that's what makes it look more organic. After that I set up emissive lights on the corresponding elements. Here's a nice tip, select one side and then click on select mirror. If your mesh is symmetrical, it will automatically select the other side. Then I added the name of our badass destroyer. I added more lights elements as it is in the reference. Though it looks like a fucking Christmas tree, I love it. I ended with some yellow Helldiver style torches. And some last details around.
Hey guys, I want to take a moment here, a small break, to talk about something important. We are often rushing, expecting our art to be as good as the picture in our mind. We never stop in the middle to reflect on our creation. Yet this is one of the pillars to feel fulfilled in our art journey. I genuinely love what I did here. It might feel like quick texturing shit, but I did it myself with the textures pack I created throughout the years and the unique industrial style I developed. To this, I added my unique and authentic touch, and that's what I want for every artist. Don't settle for generic, common art. Don't settle for AI, quick Gaea art. Work hard to make things unique, to make things your way, because this is the only way, my friends.
It's been years now, my dream is to sell prints, and I finally took the leap to create an online shop. So if you wanna help me grow the channel, go grab a beautiful print of those. The link is in description. And by the way, these are exclusive scenes. I never showed them, neither posted, so consider getting them if you like them. Thank you! So after re-importing our big baby, I gave it an emissive material. Then I placed a few lights like in the game. I attached them to the ship so they won't get lost. And I brought the ship closer for a better composition. I retweaked the material to make it darker and more contrasty, and kept going with some new lights in the foreground. Then I reworked the general lighting to set this nice golden hour glance. The scene really started to look great. Congrats, bro. For the Automaton robot's base, I start with our beloved cube.
Don't ever delete that poor cube again. I warn you.
Honestly, I had only a night left and I didn't look at the references. I was like... oh look, everything went fine. Then I moved everything at the origin to have the bottom pivot. Back in Unreal, I assigned the materials and created a red emissive light. I dropped every building in the scene under the nuke. I placed the assets really quick, like a fortified base. Quick tip guys, to reduce the scale evenly, attach everything to one mesh. Then scale it as you want. To end the level design, I copied the base there and added some floors. I also made a smaller version to populate the landscape. For the storytelling, I wanted the nuke to be called like in the game Stratagems. So I modeled a simple sci-fi screen and gave it a texture to match the colors of the game. As always, I wanted to be accurate, so I looked for the Stratagem Euro reference. Then I ordered my 500 kilos orbital strike to Eagle 1.
Here comes the cavalry.
I gave it a quick tint, and back in Unreal... oh bitch!
The one withdrawing to rearm.
You know what, Epic Games, I'm
Ready
so
to
fucking
return.
back.
Locked and loaded.
So I set up the Stratagem screen materials and placed it in the scene. I put it on the right because the left was already heavy on element. Then I reworked the material. And BAM! At this point Unreal was as tired as me. Okay, let's finish this shit. I ended by tweaking the location, size and emission of the screen. The last immersion step I wanted to add was the destroyer firing with his huge BP. Pretty simple stuff here, just create a sphere and scale it like a laser shot and add it in sequencer and give it an emissive material. Then keyframe the animation and set the keys as linear, so they have a constant speed. Okay, good, let's duplicate the shots. It's important to not put them at the same time and to hide them on the way back. Animation is a skill and you have to know how to put the keyframes back and forth. I finally gave the shots a warmer tint. And voila, it looks badass, I love it. For the clouds, I used our international William Fosher's Easy Fog Pack. I placed them to create a nice composition without obstructing the view. And I gave them a sunset tint to match our atmosphere. It looks great. Okay guys, let's do the final render. Little tip, for heavy scenes I always open an empty map. It unloads stuff and frees some VRAM, so there is less chances to crash, but verify well that the sequencer matches the right level. So here I used the final render settings given by Clinton. I just divided the resolution by 2 and used 8 samples of temporal anti-aliasing, and 64 render and engine warm-up frames. After compiling some shaders, the render went pretty fast, only took like 1 minute and 30 seconds.
For the final 4K render, I used 64 temporal anti-aliasing samples and 512 warm-up frames, so the cape has time to settle. We are the end, brothers. Let's enjoy our final render 3 times.
Today you carved another foothold in a long climb to liberty.
I worked really hard on this breakdown. I learned a lot along the way. I sincerely hope you had fun as much as I did. If you wanna help the channel grow so I can continue creating tutorials full time, please consider buying a print. They send worldwide and the quality is great. Like and subscribe, and you can also join our Discord server, link in the description. And I see you in the next one. It was Wonderboy, take care and never stop creating, my friends. Over.